My question is to the Minister for Education. What is the Albanese Labor government doing to cut student debt? What has been the response to these reforms? Are there approaches that would leave students worse off?
Call to the Minister for Education.
Thanks, Mr Speaker, and can I thank my friend the hirsute member for Hawke for his question. Mr Speaker, if you want a good example of the difference between Labor and Liberal, then this is it. We're cutting HECS debt for 3 million Australians, and they want to cut the cost of lunch for bosses. That's it in a nutshell. We've already cut HECS debt by more than $3 billion for 3 million Australians. We passed those laws late last year, and over Christmas the ATO made this change, cutting the debt of 3 million Australians. But there's more to do, and there's more that we will do. If we win the next election, we will cut all student debts by a further 20%. That means that somebody with an average HECS debt today of $27,000 will see that debt cut by more than $5,000. And if they've got a HECS debt of $50,000, then that'll be cut by $10,000. That's a lot of help for a lot of young people just out of uni, just getting started. And what do you think the Liberals think of all of this? They're opposed to that.
No.
Surprise, surprise. They say that's a terrible idea. They think it's a terrible idea that we should cut the debt of Aussie workers and Aussie students. Well, I'll tell you what I think a terrible idea is: making these same students and workers pay for their boss's lunch. And I'll give you 1.6 billion reasons why, because that's how much it'll cost, $1.6 billion a year, at least.
Order. The Minister will resume his seat. The Minister for Industry will cease interjecting so I can hear from the Manager of Opposition Business.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. The point of order is on relevance. It cannot be directly relevant to the question about education and HECS for the Minister to be engaging in this diatribe about the opposition.
I'll hear from the Leader of the House.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. When the final part of the question says, are there approaches that would leave students worse off, I'm not sure how this is anything other than relevant. He's referring specifically to approaches that would leave students worse off.
I'll just deal with this, it's fine. I did hear the Minister refer to the figure regarding students and, I think, teachers paying for the policy, so that is being directly relevant, but he can't have the remainder of his answer simply about opposition policy, because he wasn't asked about opposition policy. He was asked for the whole question, so he's got to make it relevant. So as long as he's talking about the alternative approaches and making it relevant to his portfolio, he's being directly relevant. But I'll listen carefully to make sure he remains relevant.